Hello and welcome to a cheery holiday episode. And that holiday is Christmas. Welcome to Sequel. This week we're talking Gremlins 3. My name's Blaise.
And I am James.
And you can see I dressed for the occasion. Okay.
I mean, I added the Christmas lights to the set.
Aren't those here every week?
Oh, they have been there the whole time?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe you left them up since last year.
Yeah.
But anyways, I dressed for the occasion to talk about one of my favorite Christmas movies. I know everyone's like, Die Hard, it's my favorite Christmas movie. Get the fuck out. Gremlins.
Yeah.
That's the real Christmas movie. Let's be honest. I love a little comedy in my horror, and I love my Gremlins. Anyways, Gremlins is probably one of my favorite like horror comedies.
Yeah.
I know like Shaun of the Dead definitely ranks up there. That was our first episode of Sequel. But Gremlins is probably one of my other like favorite where I think it nails both those aspects.
Right.
It is a little creepy, but it's like funny and like kind of cheery, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of the holiday spirit, you know?
It's surprising how violent it is, like as a kid's movie, but there's also a lot of innuendos for the adults. Like it was a movie more geared towards adults, but it had that kid's like premise about it.
And this is also another one of those movies as a kid, like I always watched Gremlins 2. Like I think we might have had Gremlins 2. I never watched Gremlins 1, but it was the first movie. Like some of the other movies I've talked about, like Ghostbusters, I only watched 2 ever. I never watched the first one.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
The first one is like kind of sexual, and that's why. Like, isn't it all about him trying to fuck that girl or something? Like, it's a little not appropriate for kids.
In Ghostbusters,
The
or
first
Gremlins?
one, yeah.
Oh, I don't remember the first one as well because I mainly lived off the second one.
And Gremlins, it was kind of the same thing for me, but I guess the first one's a little more violent than the second one.
Yeah,
the second one's more cartoonish.
And I gotta admit, the second one's like one of the best sequels ever too.
Yeah, it is one of the best sequels because it doesn't really take itself in like seriously, and that's what makes it good.
That's what a sequel should be. So.
Definitely. I mean, if it's already a sequel, yeah. But I think one of the things that lends it to not taking itself seriously, just the Gremlins like kind of movies, is Joe Dante, the director, his love for Looney Tunes and Chuck Jones animation. And like, because I think Looney Tunes has always been pretty dark.
Oh, yeah.
And it can get like dark quickly, but it always has that like light comedy. I mean, if you think about a lot of the scenarios is like cartoon characters beating or killing each other, and then it's like, but it's like funny, you know, like basically all the cartoon rivalries of Chuck Jones are like that.
Exactly.
But anyways, like I love Gremlins 2. I think it has that same kind of style. And Gremlins 3, for me, it's going to start pretty crazy. I looked up some information about like what Chris Columbus would do with the sequel because he wrote both the Gremlins movies. Yeah. And his idea was always to like make it like he was going to answer the question of like, since Gizmo is always the catalyst to like the Gremlins coming there, like wouldn't someone eventually do something about Gizmo and just like kill him? But it's like never Gizmo's fault that the Gremlins like arise, because it's like,
and he doesn't want it. He's always disappointed himself and everything.
Yeah, it's like he never like he chooses not to eat after midnight in the first movie. Like there was multiple occasions where like nothing that happens like with the Gremlins is ever his fault. It's just human negligence. Like always like, oh yeah, let's try, like when they start cloning him in the first movie, they just do it because he's cute. Like they're like, oh, like the other Mogwais are cute too, but they're like evil. Like every clone Mogwai is just comes out evil, like except for the dumb one, but he is kind of evil.
Googly-eyed gremlin.
One question I did bring up though, because I just rewatched both these movies, do you remember why like is it always the same gremlins that pop out of Gizmo, like in the first and second movie?
There's a big difference between the first one and the second one. I mean, maybe the Mohawk
guy is mainly what I'm thinking of. It's always like he was pretty similar, and he was the leader always,
because they all look the same in the first one. They're all the same color. They're relatively similar to Gizmo, but Gizmo's, it's just all in the eyes, I feel like. But then in the second one though, they all have different colors and everything.
Okay, well, maybe I that one over my head, but anyways,
I swear they did. I could be wrong though.
I think I was just looking at the faces, maybe. Okay. But I mean, obviously, in the second one, you have an electric gremlin, a lady gremlin, a spider.
Next, I don't know, a googly-eyed gremlin. But you do know, because you talking about a gremlin whose sole purpose in this film is just that he looks stupid as fuck. Yes, it can be in the movie, and it is in the movie. Done. Next.
So for Gremlins 3, I want to bring back the whole family. Pretty much everyone. I want to bring back Gizmo, of course. I mean, he is the catalyst to all the Gremlins movies because he's the only real Mogwai we know of, at least.
Right, yeah.
Like, the other Mogwais that are created off him are always evil, as I mentioned. Yeah. And, like, I feel like he's the only real one we know of. There could be other ones, but he seems like some ancient Chinese species he's the last of his kind, essentially. But anyways, I want to bring Gizmo back, and I want to answer that question that Chris Columbus asked of, like, if he's always the catalyst to everyone's, like, suffering and the pain that people are inflicted because of him, even though he's not the reason, like, should we just kill him? But more importantly, I want to go back to Clamp Enterprises, which is the company from the second Gremlins. Okay. Basically, the company has just had a bunch of fails in the past 27 years, and they haven't been able to get anything successful off the ground. Like, a huge corporation, but everything is just failing. They're on kind of their last leg. And
I feel like they've been sued a lot too.
They've been sued a lot for all the incidences, but they did keep pretty much everything from Gremlins 2 as best as they could under wraps. Because like the only Gremlin that really got out was the gargoyle Gremlin that Dick Miller took care of. His character Murray Futterman, the neighbor of Billy from the first and second movie. But anyways, I want to bring, of course, Murray Futterman back. Because he is just like I'm a huge fan of Dick Miller. I know Joe Dante is. He's still out there. I think he's still acting at least, or he's been in some stuff somewhat recently. He's always just a bit part, but he did have a movie recently. I think it was like Who is Dick Miller or something. It was a great documentary about him. But anyways, Clamp Enterprises is going to try and like they need a hit. They need something. Yeah. So we're gonna tie in from the first movie. The Billy's dad, his name was Randall. He had this idea of like that Mogwais could be the new family pet.
Right, yeah.
But like Clamp doesn't know that they can't be. And like it's 27 years later. So the people that were working at Clamp are new people, and they just find this DNA because it was still like a research lab and stuff. So they find the DNA of like Gizmo and start cloning him for like to sell him as a family pet for Christmas. Yeah. So I want to take that kind of like inkling and seed that the first movie planned and actually make it a reality. I want them to kind of like want to sell everyone a Mogwai, and Mogwai is like the new like Furby, but like real life Furby for this generation. Especially it's like getting people away from their cell phones because it's like modern times and like they're playing with their pets, but like no one knows the rules to the Mogwai. Yeah. And like these Mogwai are also evil and want to eat and shit after midnight. So basically Gremlins is like a phenomenon across like this small town. It's going to take place in a small town, but it will be
I'm going to try and balance it on my nose. Oh!
Phenomenon across like the United States. Just everything's going crazy with Gremlins everywhere. And that's kind of like, I just have that little premise of I want to like basically...
Are Gremlins pets then, or is it mainly Mogwai that are pets?
No, Mogwai are supposed to be pets, but just it goes apeshit and everyone has like... Gremlins are everywhere. Yeah. It's kind of like a zombie outbreak with Gremlins going everywhere. And Gizmo has to... Like Billy and Gizmo have to figure out how to fix this shit essentially. Like whether they're going to have to sacrifice Gizmo or something. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, Gremlins can only... Like the best time to fight Gremlins would be like during the daytime. Because they can't go out in the sunlight. So you got to... So it's not like... It's not as bad as like a zombie outbreak or anything. You just got to figure out how to trick them to go outside, put a ton of food or something, you know? Yeah. Like... Or just a ton of flashlights, you know? So it's not like as dangerous. It's not going to be like this isn't going to be a full-on horror movie.
But also, though, with the daylight, also that does fuck over the Gremlins, too, also. So, like, they're under some sort of control to where they all have to hide at night and stuff. Exactly. So that's when humans, like, are, like, still able to live their normal lives, but they're just like, fuck these damn Gremlins and stuff.
Yeah, so I'd want it to maybe it wouldn't be, like, across the whole United States. Maybe it's just a small town again. Like, they're starting it in a small town on maybe Black Friday or something before Christmas.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You know, like they're like, we're gonna sell all these toys in just our Mogwais in all this town, in this town to start it out, and if it works out, we'll start selling them in the next coming up weeks before Christmas. Maybe that would be like.
I have the idea of like the image of like a gremlin inside like a clear plastic box and stuff, like trying to get out and stuff, and like everyone's buying a bunch at Target and shit. Everyone's fighting for a fucking gremlin and punching each other, and the gremlins are in the box, go like and stuff, enjoying it. So you're gonna go CGI or practical effects?
Oh, there can't be CGI. The CGI will, like, if there is CGI, it'll be minimal and it'll make the practical look more realistic.
Right.
But it won't be full on CGI. It's not in the nature of the Gremlins. The Gremlins are supposed to be like the Muppets' fucked up cousin.
Yeah.
Like, that's always been the look that they have had. So I want it to be like around the same as like incorporate CGI to make the practical more realistic, but don't have anything be full CGI.
Right. Yeah.
Like no faces or anything like that. Yeah. Like that's what I hate about CGI. I always hate the faces. Like I don't think it's uncanny valley or anything.
And I really hate anything where like it's like a shot of like someone like trying to pet something and you're just like, dude, that thing is not there. Like, you know that they're just acting and touching a tennis ball and stuff. I hate shots like that.
I can't stand it. But anyways, that's basically my Gremlins sequel. I don't know, whatever you thought about it. I don't care, because you know what I have to say, buddy? Merry fucking Christmas. It's Christmas. It's right around the corner. So everyone, just want y'all to have a great Merry Christmas. Go put on Gremlins 1. Go put on Gremlins 2. And then just imagine the Gremlins 3 that I just dropped on you. And
going back to the Christmas roots too.
I'm going to straight up challenge you to another holiday movie.
Yeah.
Similar to the holiday that's coming up next week. And this is, or in the coming week, whenever it drops, but ours will come before it. But anyways, what is a New Year's movie? Let's think about it. There's hardly any. I remember in Ghostbusters 2, it takes place around New Year's. So you're going to be doing another threequel, Ghostbusters 3.
Okay. We're going for the threes.
We're going for the threes this time.
And in the year on a bang.
And in the year in a big bang.
Yeah.
Not a theory, though.
Fuck that.
But anyways, tune in next week, guys. Ghostbusters 3. James is going to drop some knowledge on y'all. So tune in next week. I think in the coming week, we should have a lot of our top... I think we're going to do a top 5 this year, so those videos should be coming out soon. So look forward to that. And also Ghostbusters 3 next week. See you later.
See you then.